Over 20 grams of protein and only 150 calories. This thing's gonna keep you full, baby. We've made chocolate, we've made vanilla Greg Doucette style protein ice creams, but what we haven't made for protein ice creams is the Oreo protein ice cream. Probably one of the best ones. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a Greg Doucette style Ninja Blender Oreo protein ice cream with insanely good macros for your fat loss and muscle building goals. Let's go. Now the first thing you're going to need before you even consider doing the other steps is some sort of Ninja blender. I'm using this one, just a simple Ninja blender, or you can use any other blender, any other powerful home blender appliance that's going to be good for crushing ice. This one's great because it's got the triple, like, I don't even know, blades, I guess. Next, what you're gonna need is some sort of protein powder. I got this whey chocolate one, and I also got whey isolate vanilla one. I'm gonna be using some of the vanilla one this go. So for the protein powder, it doesn't matter too much on the flavor. The other flavorings are gonna come next, and you guys will see next how we make it taste like Oreos. Now you can do a full scoop, but I like to do like half a scoop, so like 15 grams about. So that's 10 grams, we'll add a bit more. Alright, so there's 14.5 grams. As long as you get above 14 grams, you're pretty much good. Now the next ingredient. The next ingredient that you need is some sort of Guar Gum or xanthan gum. You can get these online on Amazon and stuff, or just in your local store, but they're going to be cheaper to buy online. A lot cheaper online, so I got this one for 10 bucks, this massive bag, 1.5 pounds, and it's going to last you a long time. So 0 out our scale. And you're gonna do about a teaspoon of Guar Gum or xanthan gum. So there's 4 grams right on the dot, right there. If you're doing grams, 4 grams, perfect. This is basically gonna thicken it up. It's gonna thicken it up, make it more thick, and it's gonna add fiber too. It's just gonna make it overall more like a creamy, like ice cream texture, and it's gonna make it better overall. It's also gonna add fiber, which it's going to help you stay more full, so if you're cutting, this is even better. Now the next ingredient, which you probably could have guessed, is a baking cocoa powder, or just any like processed cocoa powder. I just got this stuff from Walmart. We're going to add it in. We're going to add about 17 grams of this stuff. So I added 19 grams, but that's just because I preferred a little bit more chocolatey, but as long as you do above 17 grams, you should be good. Alright, now what you're going to need is some sort of black alkalized cocoa powder. Now what this means, most alkalized cocoa powder is basically where they take the acidity of the cocoa powder and they bring it down. And so normally if you just were to eat cocoa powder, like if I were just to take a teaspoon of this and eat it, put it right in my mouth, it would not taste good at all. I would probably spit it back out, it would taste bad. Now I don't have the package to show you, but here's some alkalized cocoa powder. So as you can see, this is the regular cocoa powder, this is the alkalized one. It's a lot darker in color, and also it tastes a lot different. As you can demo, it's alkalized, so the acidity is brought down. You can just eat it and it tastes like an Oreo. It tastes like you're eating an Oreo. This is why it's black. It's the same color as an Oreo, and it tastes like an Oreo. It tastes really good. And this stuff is a lot harder to find than regular cocoa powder. You can find it at Bulk Barn. That's one of the easier ways to buy it, but if you're trying to buy lots of it, go online and you can buy it. That's probably the easier way to find it, is to go online and buy it. But once you get yourself some, you're going to add about, I don't know, 7-8 grams. So a little over 1 teaspoon. The more of this cocoa powder you add compared to cocoa powder, it's going to give you more of an Oreo to calorie ratio. So if you want it to taste more like Oreos, just add more of the alkalized black cocoa powder. And anyone wondering for macros, they're pretty much the exact same when it comes to macros for the alkalized and the regular Dutch cocoa powder. Alright, now for the last ingredient. For the last ingredient, some sort of sea salt, or just any salt for that matter. This just happens to be the one I'm using from Kirkland. So let's zero this out. And you're going to want to do about 2 to 3 grams. let's see, 2, maybe do a little more. I tend to like a little on the higher side, so 3 grams. So 3 grams of salt. It's basically just going to add a ton of flavor. It's going to enhance all the flavors that you're getting right in there. And if you're doing this like post-workout, of course you probably, if you're eating this as a post-workout meal, you're probably losing electrolytes when you're working out. So this is like an easy way to get more electrolytes back in. Alright, so that's all the ingredients. Now we got to blend it. Alright, so the next ingredient is just ice, guys. Now I have this ice maker, so if you're going to be doing this a lot, making these a lot, which I make them like pretty much every day or every other day, get yourself an ice maker. It's going to make it to where you don't have to hassle with ice cube trays that keep spilling all over your freezer. So just fill your Ninja blender. Alright, as you can see, I've pretty much filled the entire Ninja blender with ice. Now you want to be able to still close it. So as you can see, I have my lid here, and I'm going to put it on, and it still closes fine. So you don't want to fill it to the point where you can't even put the lid on. You still want to be able to put the lid on, but fill it to like the most you can while still being able to put the lid on. Alright, so we got our mix, and we're just going to dump it in there. Now next, you don't need these, but I highly recommend them. Just add some sort of artificial sweetener. I'm using Sugar Twin. I mean, you can use any sweetener you want. Just make sure it's a low calorie one, and this one just tastes really good, so let's add it in. Alright, and the final step before we blend, we're just going to want to add a little bit of water to basically, you know, be able to mix better. So, if you can see, right, like just a little bit of water, just so it can blend a little bit. If you put too much water, it'll be too liquidy. And you want it to be like pretty thick. You want it to be more like ice cream. At least I do. I find it like tastes better. It's more filling and stuff. I don't want it to be like a soup or something, you know. Alright, so everything's ready to go. And by the way, the reason I like Ninja blenders so much is they're fairly cheap. This one was like $80 at Costco, and it works really well. It's been working a long time, and it works really well for making shakes, and it's really good at crushing ice. So let's put it on the high setting for 1 round. Alright, so it's been blending for about 2 minutes now, so 2 rounds on the blender. So we're going to check on it, and if you guys notice, it looks pretty good so far, but we're just gonna kind of take this like thing and just push the ice down and make sure everything's getting nice and blended well and evenly. And it looks pretty good, but we're gonna blend it a few more times, so let's go. Alright. It's been blending a bit, and look, it's getting to look more creamy. Now everything's mixing together. Let's check the texture. Pretty ice creamy. Like, look, it's not like a soup. Like, this is like pretty thick. Maybe not as thick as like real ice cream, but it's pretty thick. And there's like tiny ice crystals. I don't know if you guys can see them. So if you want to get rid of those, just keep blending the ice cream even more. Alright, it's been blending a bit now, and the ice crystals are starting to go away. It's starting to get nice and creamy, so let's pour it out. Alright, so this looks super duper duper good. We got a spoon, we're gonna try it out. Let's go. Bussin'! It's absolutely delicious, but I'm gonna show you guys how to make it even more Oreo tasting. So what you're gonna do, grab your alkalized cocoa powder and just pour it on like that, and you can mix it in, or you can just have it like that. And just, it looks like Oreos and it tastes a lot like Oreos. So yeah, look at that. I already got chocolate on my face, guys. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna eat this It looks absolutely delicious. I can't wait to eat it, so I'm going to eat it, finish filming up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something and enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe to help your boy out. Peace out. Boo!